Is your elbow pain stopping you from doing the things that you love? Join us today where you'll learn some of the best exercises and stretches to help you get back doing what you love fast. Hi guys, I'm Dr. Stewart, chiropractor from Adelaide, Australia, and welcome back to our third episode in the basics, where in this series we're going through tennis elbow and what you can do to sort it out and fix it fast. So, in the previous episodes, we have talked about what it is and what's going on. And then in the last episode, we discussed how to start calming it down and then building it up. So you should have been doing some of those isometric holds, just holding that weight and getting that tendon to calm down and start handling some load. And now we're gonna start turbocharging it by really getting it to do some work, what we call isotonics, up and down, classic sort of gym strengthening work. So in this case, we can still use those same tools that we had last time. In this case, whether we've got a jar, whether we've got a weight, or if we've got a band. So what we're gonna do today is we're now gonna take this, instead of being like a hold, we now get to start doing reps, up and down. Really trying to control it that whole way through. So you might find as you start doing this that your elbow actually flares up a little bit, and that is okay because you're jumping up what you're doing. So in that case, you might go back to a lesser weight, or you might even go no weight for a little while, just as you're getting used to this portion again, what we call the eccentric, which is what tendons really need. They need that ability to control that lengthening, but it might flare it up. So you might take this weight and go a little bit lighter. But if we're gonna start doing isotonics, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have that weight. Again, it's nice and supported. So in this case, I might have a pillow or a towel in my arm, or I might be resting on a bench or a desk, and I'm coming up to 3 for the count of 3, and then we really want to work on controlling that lowering portion down for the count of 4. So 1, 2, 3. I might hold that for a second, nice squeeze, and then down, 2, 3, 4. If you want to take this to the next level, what you can do is you can download a metronome app. This is based off the work of Jill Cook out of Melbourne, Australia, and she uses a metronome set at 60 beats per minute, and you just move the weight at the count of the metronome up and down. So that's a great way to really bring some of the neurological parts of tendon pain in, where you're working not just the local tissue, but the brain-based parts of pain. So that's a great option if you guys want to take what you're doing and turbocharge it. All right, so we've just discussed the up and down portion, the eccentric, concentric, the extension, flexion portion. The other part that we need to worry about here is the pronation element, that part of when you're playing tennis and the arm comes over and that whipping down sort of part here where we bring the wrist over. So there's 2 ways we can play with that. So we've got that band and we can just do the resisted sort of element coming across and coming back, but we can also still use the weight, like we've just been doing here, where again, we're just going over and then coming back, trying to keep a nice neutral wrist and that same 3, 4 timing we just talked about. So coming across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Another great one to make sure the shoulder is nice and supported here. Or maybe you've got a mallet at home. A mallet is a great one, or even one of these guys. So this is a TheraBar, and what this lets us do is do some of this, like I'm wringing out a dishcloth sort of element. So it lets me do this back and forth sort of part here and going back and forth and really loading up the grip here, which we know can be a part of aggravating those things if with tennis you may be gripping a little bit too hard. So a grip bar, a TheraBar like this, where I'm going over and back and forth, or I've got that nice grip, come over, let go element. Those are going to be great aspects here for you to play with. So there's lots of ways that you can start to do this. Generally speaking, if I'm giving this to people, I'm giving them sets and reps of maybe about 8 to 15 repetitions of this, 2 or 3 sets, maybe once or twice a day. But it all depends on where you're at personally. So if you're doing well, do a bit more. Do it so it's hard enough that you can feel like you're working. If you're not so far advanced, drop it back a little bit and just progressively build it up. That's how you're going to go about getting this to happen enough and sorting it out so we can handle when you start going back to doing what you love, whether it's work or sport like tennis. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this has been really helpful, and we'll see you next time for when we discuss about going back to work, going back to training, going back to sport so you can get back to achieving your goals and doing what you love. See you next time, guys. Bye.